Okay. Okay, loop stitch. Loop stitch is a deeply textured decorative stitch where you're adding an extra loop of yarn between each stitch. See that? And it sticks out and it creates this deep pile. You can actually make them much longer than this. So the instructions I read from the Barbara Walker Treasury suggested wrapping the yarn around, here's the yarn, wrapping the yarn around 3 fingers, like that, for a very long loop. But those instructions also said to knit 4 plain rows between each, so doing it every 5th row and another pattern row on the 6th, and then so it was very big. And this is a coffee cup cozy, so I didn't need it so big. I want it to look like a sheep, not a tribble. So it's a great decorative stitch, however, for toys and stuff like sheep coffee cup cozies. So what I did was I made the loop smaller, just enough to go around 1 finger, and I'm doing it every other row for effectively garter stitch, because you do it on the wrong side, knitting into the stitches. So anyway, let me get into this. So this is the wrong side of the piece, and I've already done a few. Okay, I'll show you Continental first. Wrap the yarn around your finger from the top, and then come up from the bottom, and then kind of angle the yarn so you can get to the yarn that's feeding to the ball easily. Okay? Now, knit into the stitch. Okay, your next stitch, just knit into that one. Pick up the yarn from the ball, but don't pull the stitch off the needle. Just drop it back onto the needle like so. So now you have these 2 stitches together. Stick your needle through the back of the loop for 1 and 2. So, and knit the 2 together through the back of the loops. And pull it off and drop it off your finger. You see that? It makes a little loop. That loop is connected to the previous stitch, like so. And just do it again. This is one of those occasions where if I were better at English, I would actually be doing this English style, because you have to drop the needle to pick up, to wrap that yarn around your finger. So do that again. Wrap the yarn, lay it over the top of your finger, and then bring it out from underneath and grab it for your tension. Knit into the stitch. Make sure you grab the correct piece of yarn. Don't pull the stitch off. Stick it back onto your needle. Knit the 2 of them together through the backs of the loops. Always being sure to get the correct loop of yarn. Drop both off, like so. Do it again. Wrap the yarn around your finger from the top. Get that out of the way. Lay it over the top and then around like so. Knit into the stitch like so, but instead of pulling the stitch off, you put the new stitch on top of it. Knit the 2 of them through the back of the loop like so. Okay? And then you have 3 loop stitches just like that. The yarn is a superwash, so it lacks a little bit of tooth. So what I do is I go back and I tug on things after the fact to tighten them up. Now let me demonstrate English style, which is actually a little bit less fiddly because you can just kind of... Okay, I gotta admit, I'm not very good at English. Please excuse my lack of manual dexterity. This is your finger. Stick it into the yarn like this and grab it. Does that make sense? I hope you can see this. Lay the yarn on top of your finger, grab it like that. You might need to tuck your finger under in order to keep tension on it. Okay. Now, knit into your next stitch, work the stitch, but don't pull it off. So you have your new stitch, and your old one is still on the needle. Lay the new one on top of the old one. You still have that loop restrained, okay? Knit the two together through the back of the loop. Like so. And then drop that one off your finger. I hope that was clear. So again, your finger comes from below, twists around and grabs it. You stick your needle into the next stitch. Knit it, but don't pull it off. Okay. Lay the new stitch that you just made on top of the old one. And slip it back on top. And then knit the two together through the backs of the loops. It's a little bit difficult. I'm having trouble seeing. I'm trying to do this from behind the camera entirely, going only by what the screen is showing me, and it's a little small. And then drop the both off. Okay, let's try that again. So coming from below the yarn, grab it. Okay, grab it, and then knit into the next stitch. Pull the loop through, but not off. Lay the new loop on top of the old one, so you have the two together. And then knit the two together through the back of the loop, like so. Okay? They're identical. The Continental English doesn't matter, they're identical. Yeah, they're a little loose. Again, I go tug them back together a bit. Now, on the return row, on the front side, you will want to knit these stitches through the back of the loop to give them a little extra security. Okay? So knit through the back of the loop to twist the stitches and give them a little extra grip. Okay. Like so. Oops. Okay. And then this is when I generally tug on them to tighten them up. Alright? It's very simple, very straightforward. And then you get this. If this were not a superwash, they would cling together a bit better, but since the superwash has all the teeth either glued down or removed, it's a little bit slipperier. But once it's all nicely established and you've tugged on them a few times and it's all blocked and everything, it'll be nice and secure. Okay, hopefully my sheep will turn out good.